I would love for someone to hear, someone who maybe in a similar situation to me has this sense that like, oh, like God's wired me to be this creative and artistic person, and I want to be faithful to that. To not think that that's exclusive of the church, but to see that as very much a way of serving the church, and especially the rural church. I would love for more people to catch that vision and respond to maybe that call in their life. My name is Mark Harley. I am the pastor at Fillmore Wesleyan Church, which is in the little town of Fillmore, New York, about a little less than 400 people. Although I think my family just pushed the population over 400. I think someone was telling me that. Fillmore's a very close-knit town. I think it's sort of typical of many Western New York towns, which there's maybe this sense that the good days are behind them. It's a very historic church. It was established in 1843, which makes Fillmore Wesleyan, I don't know for certain if it's the oldest Wesleyan church in America, but if it's not the oldest, it's one of them. Some of the congregants, it's become kind of a running joke that, you know, if you can't find me in my office, I'm probably rummaging around in the attic looking for some like historical documents, because our church has a ton of history. And so one of the things that I came across a few months ago was a letter by a pastor named Richard Kaler. And I was shocked to find that letter because he is the pastor who led my grandmother to the Lord and eventually my dad to the Lord, my whole dad's family. Some of the folks from this church helped him plant a Wesleyan church in Angola in the early 60s. And that was the church that ministered to my family to my dad's family at a time of crisis. That's it right there, July 3rd, 1958. Oh, that's such a good way to say this. He says, "It is only by the light and power of his Spirit that I've been able to do anything for him." And he's just talking about just very ordinary church increase, right? He's like, we've seen an increase of 10 in our average attendance, and he's like, we have a steady average of 30 people. It doesn't take much, right? And I saw that, and that's him, Richard Kaler. It was it just set off this ripple effect. That's something that was just so powerful to think that somehow I ended up back at one of the churches that helped establish him. And so that's just something I feel like only the Lord can do. That I couldn't have orchestrated a move like that. Like the Lord works powerfully through rural churches. My own family is a beneficiary of that. And it's just something that drives me every day, and to try to lead these people to see that clearly. And you can see those ripple effects, I think, in a rural community more clearly than in urban or suburban places.
So we are a Cozy Quilt group and are part of a larger network. We make quilts for cancer patients. The quilts are a specific pattern as the one you see here. We include a book called When God and Cancer Meet, and also a card that says, when the fabric of your life is torn to pieces, God can still make something beautiful. And we send these out to anybody that has cancer with the quilt at the label that says, a cozy quilt for you, just because God loves you.
So yeah, my path to pastoral ministry has been like a patchwork of different things. And, you know, when I was 18, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I just was really passionate about art. I went to art school, I studied photography and filmmaking, and I felt really confident that was sort of like the Lord's calling on my life. I worked as an artist for a while. I worked at different arts institutions, museums, and different galleries and different other arts organizations for a number of years and loved that. We were living in the Hudson Valley at the time, and I would make these trips out to Western New York just to take pictures of this place that my dad grew up. And it was a place that was important to me, but I didn't quite understand why. And eventually I felt really clear. I can still picture where I was and felt the Lord just kind of pressing this thing on me, this idea on me that it was time to put the camera down and actually step into the story, that it was a story that I was a part of, not just an observer of. And so in 2016, my wife and I, we decided that we didn't really know why or how, but we felt like the Lord was calling us to move to Western New York. And so I eventually was hired out here at Houghton University. It was while I was working at Houghton that I started to meet some people from Fillmore. Folks who live here, folks who come to this church. And I've ended up learning that they'd been looking for a pastor for 2 years. And tell my wife, I wasn't quite done with seminary, but I felt like, man, there's this little church right here in Fillmore. One thing led to the other, and eventually resulted in them calling me to be their next pastor. It's not a move that we would have orchestrated, but it's way better. It's way better than something that we would have orchestrated. So, and that's often how the Lord works.
That's a good way to put it. Carrying one? Yeah. I'll take this.
You got it? Can you put it over here?
That's pretty cool.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, we have fun doing this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. We switch off, don't we? We do 1 week we'll come down here to the studio. The other week we'll go to the coffee shop and he'll drill me with theology questions.
Yeah, I'm going to do that tomorrow.
I know. That's what we're doing
I'm
tomorrow.
not going to drill them. It's just, actually, I want you to know, I don't sit and make them up. They're things that have been coming to my mind for the last
I'm only giving you a hard time.
I know.
I think especially when I was younger, coming out of art school, like rural ministry would have been probably the farthest thing on my, farthest thing off of my radar. What's been so inspiring just for me is seeing how the Lord has used my, not only some of the technical skills that I have in photography or making videos, but in relating with people. So many folks here are extremely creative. There's a number of artists and craftsmen, people that do glasswork and painting, watercolors, drawing, sculpture, dance. There's other photographers and filmmakers. It's surprised me how many people are creative out here, let alone how creative farmers are. The true creatives. I've made this transition from thinking that it was being an artist was a thing that maybe made me not qualified to serve rural ministry, to being a thing that makes me feel especially qualified to serve in rural ministry. Because I come to think of it, I think it takes an artist or other artists to be able to look at something that's broken and want to set about the work of fixing it. I didn't grow up in a rural area. I grew up in the suburbs. And there's a sense of excitement living in a rural area and serving a rural area, raising a family in a rural area. There's definitely an adventure to be had. And I think more than adventure, there's an authentic faith to be found. One of the things that's been the most life-giving has just been the amount of love that exists in a place like this. This community genuinely loves my family, and my family genuinely loves them. And it's really just wonderful. Unlike anything I've really experienced before. Yeah.